Relationships fail so often these days. That's why myself and my wife Emily have the best episode you can listen to if you are starting a new relationship that you want to be serious. In this episode, we share 4 of the top things that every couple must be doing before they start a serious relationship. Today, we're going to talk about things that we believe every couple must do before they get into a serious relationship. Before or while they're taking that step from interested and things are going well to like, it could be a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, and some of these things will actually happen at the very beginning, but I truly believe they're so critical. And the stuff that we did that, looking back, I know made a massive difference in our relationship because we've both done relationships and had terrible relationships. Long-term relationships that were terrible, short-term relationships that were terrible. And so I think taking that experience, we just intuitively knew, here are some things that we want to go into this relationship and do. Mm-hmm. So what was the first thing that you could think of when I brought that topic up to you? What do you think the first thing you can think of that you think everybody must do at the beginning or the early stages of a serious relationship?
Well, I mean, I think for me, I was at the point in my life where honesty was like, it was like, well, I got to the point where it was no BS. Like, I was just over it at that point.
Yep.
So I think and it's not comfortable all the time. It's the hard honesty. It's the things that you have to be honest with yourself, and then you have to be able to speak it to your partner, right? Mm-hmm. I think that was huge.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about honesty all the time in relationships, and I think it kind of gets watered down.
Yep.
And I think you said it right the best, is like honesty in the hard parts.
Yep.
And I think how honesty gets approached needs to be addressed. Being that if you're going into that relationship, if you're like, I'm going to be honest, I hate this thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you're going into it upset, I'm ready to end this, I don't like this guy, whatever is going on, oh, just like my ex, and you're creating these assumptions, that's going to be a problem. Versus going into that conversation being with the understanding of, I want this relationship to work. I feel like we have a special connection. I need to be honest with you about this thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. I think it's almost like it makes, just as you were saying that, it made me think like honesty mixed with like a sense of forgiveness. Almost like a forgiveness of self for past shit that maybe you didn't think about before.
Yeah.
But it's coming up now because like we're changing all the time. All the time. Like things that you learn and see and believe and all these things, right? It can change how you are in the world and how you interact.
Yep.
So I think honesty comes with forgiveness, like I was saying, because
that's a good point.
You're not always going to be the same.
Yep.
I'm not the same Emily I was 5 years ago.
Yep. I would agree. I think that's a really important part in allowing people to, you said, I think not only you're the same, but allowing the other person to change.
Yeah.
Have that flexibility.
Yep. Allow them to grow.
Yeah. Can you think of a time in our relationship where we had that discussion and you're like, oh, that was a big one?
An honesty discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we've had a few of them.
We've had a lot of them. We had one yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably one of the first ones was when I broke my toe in Nelson.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, I think because, it just got to a point where you had to say something to me. And it was almost like you had to stand up for yourself. And at the time, I almost got my back up against the wall. And I started to bristle, and I almost would have not attacked because we've never fought. Mm-hmm. But then I had to just stop and just breathe for a minute and realize that honestly, I was being a bitch.
Mm.
And it's hard when someone calls you out on that.
Yeah.
So, but you have to just kind of like, that's where the forgiveness part comes in. You forgive yourself for the fuck up, and you thank your partner for saying thank you. Or for, thank you for me. This is getting my words mixed up lately.
It's true.
But, yeah, no, and at the end of the day, it brought us closer, because I also knew where your boundaries were.
Mm. Yep. I think that was really important and a big step in our relationship, because previously, for both of us, it was something that I never did, was not stand up for myself, but yeah, stand up for myself, and have a boundary and communicate that. And then knew on the other level is like, it didn't lead to a fight. Versus us, or not us, but in previous relationships, that's conflict. It's, oh, well, you said this, I said that, boom, we're butting heads, and now we're angry, whatever. In fact, that was a critical moment, I think, in our relationship to help us grow closer together.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure, because I could have gone to that place. I think previously I would have been like, oh, you're freaking hitting my toe and it's broken. You should have known better, blah, blah, blah. I could have went down this whole pathway.
Totally, yep.
Instead, I just said thank you for telling me, and it was awkward and hard, and it was weird.
For both of us.
For both of us, yeah. But at the end of the day, we were and are way stronger for it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So I think, to recap that, honesty with forgiveness, allowing for forgiveness, and you mentioned earlier, is allowing for change.
Oh, growth is huge.
Yeah, because if we don't, you're holding that person to the same version that they were a month ago, a year ago, even yesterday.
Well, you have all these conversations in a relationship, right? And you, I mean, I guess I can only speak for me, but I mean, I know you're similar in this. It's like, we actually adapt and grow and change and learn from that. And if you were to hold me to the same person I was when we first met, like...
Yeah, it's true. Oh, even our discussion yesterday, if I would have held you to that, who you were 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever, even a year ago, it would have ended totally different. There's a really good saying there I like to, and maybe we'll kind of leave it on that, is that no man steps into the same river twice. Because the man is different and the river is different.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously applies to everybody. Understanding that we are always changing, can always be changing. And when you are changing and adapting, that's part of growth. And that growth feels good.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of issues come up when you don't allow for that, personally. And that's a whole other topic, but when you don't allow yourself to change and grow, then the honesty part's really hard, because you're coming at the same thing over and over again. That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's funny. It wasn't one that I thought of right away. The first thing that I thought of in our relationship was us not having sex. For the first, I think it was like first like 3 months, 2 months.
No, if it was like 3 weeks or 5 weeks. I don't actually know.
I thought it was longer. I was like, no, we were like,
maybe it was 5 weeks.
I think you're right. I think it was a month. Yeah.
It was still pretty good.
It's still pretty good, but I know it's so important, because one, again, we've both been in those relationships where short-term and long-term that didn't go well. How many people do you know that jump in a relationship, they have a great night, 2 great nights, 3 great nights, they're having sex, energy's flying, sexual tension's building, the oxytocin's being released, that love chemical, and they ignore all these behaviors that should be giving off warning signals. And worse, because they're so in that like love drunk moment, you don't even talk about them. You don't even bring them up. And so that was something I'm glad we did early. And it was funny because I remember the moment we're in the bedroom, we're making out, and you're like, I don't want to be into it. And I'm like, I don't want to either. It was funny. I remember just being like, I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't want to either. I wanted to build a relationship based purely, or as much as it possibly can, off of just our connection and me falling in love with you and who you were and who you could become and all, not who you become, but and the things I saw in you and not physical at first, because yes, we had that and it's amazing and it's wonderful and it's growing, but I think having that first connection, because what it did, I think it forced us to really like, right, why do I like this other person? Why am I in love with them? What do they do that I'm just think is so cool? So I think you really have to pay attention. You have to pay attention, not just like ogle, because that's good too, but really pay attention to who they are.
Oh, it definitely helps. And it's not that energy wasn't there, because it obviously was.
Oh,
it was there in a huge way.
In fact, I think it actually made it better because it almost built it up more, because we'd have moments we'd make out and then we would just like leave it at that, but it was like you could like feel the energy between us, which is really cool.
Yeah, didn't you go into work one day and the guys were like joking with you, like, hey, you must have got laid last night or something, and you were like, nah, man, I met this girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and that's that energy. So it was there, but it wasn't like, it was just different. It was so different.
Absolutely. So my question then, you, my love, is, do you remember a moment when you're like, oh, I'm really glad that we didn't do that, or that we, instead of us having sex, we did this instead, or not having sex led you to whatever?
A specific moment? I don't know. No, I mean, I was always just really grateful. I was just really grateful that that's how we did it. At the time, it felt super right to not go straight into sex, for sure. Yeah. Because of just everything. I didn't want that. I didn't want just to, like, sex is awesome for sure, but like, I wanted more than that. And I wanted to be seen for more than that. For me as a woman,
there it is, yeah.
I wanted to know that I was valued beyond what a man could do in a bedroom. I wanted to know that, like, I mattered.
I like that. So there's that moment.
Yeah.
We're not in one moment, but a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something. Again, that was something that I'm glad I didn't think of it before this episode. I didn't think of that, but yeah, that's so big, because I think what happened was that I started, because the sex wasn't there, and we both didn't wanted that. Again, I started appreciating you not just for that, because I know that can happen, especially for guys. But I started appreciating you more for, like, wow, look at how, like, engaged she is in our conversations. Look how, like, much she just loves to just, like, be there and help and just be present. I think you're at Levi's 6th birthday? 7th birthday. That was like a month in.
It was
2 weeks in. Like, I think it was 2 weeks in.
Well, yeah, because June 7th is when our first date was, and Levi's birthday was June 24th. So.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks in, and you're like, yeah, I'll help with the birthday party. I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? You're like, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, oh, okay. And if I truly believe that if we were, having lots of sex, all that, I think I would, some of those little subtleties I would have been lost. I wouldn't have seen it as much, and wouldn't have appreciated you as much, and recognized, like, oh, there's like something really unique and special here that is wonderful on its own. And I truly believe that all relationships early should adopt that same principle, which is so funny, because I remember my parents, who are very, very Christian, mentioning this years ago, and I was like, you guys are crazy. And now I see it, they were very extreme, so let's just leave it at that. But I do see the value in it now, and just waiting and appreciating your partner for not the feelings that you get, for just who they are, and taking that time to just observe and like, wow, really like take note of how they are in stressful situations, how they are in really good situations, how they are in family situations, how are they when, you know, something, like I said, goes wrong. Mm-hmm. And it gave me, at least at my end, an opportunity to see those things in you. Mm-hmm. Again, the birthday party is a perfect example. It's like, you don't have to be there. It's kind of stressful. Kids are running around, and you're like, oh, it's fine, and you're helping out and doing your thing. I was like, this is crazy. Like, and my ex was there too, because that was, my ex was there with her new boyfriend, and that was a weird situation now. And you didn't like, I'm sure it was awkward.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't back out and say, no, screw you, you're a weirdo.
That was Michaela's birthday.
That was Michaela's birthday. That was right. That was
when I got the bracelets for her and her friends.
Yeah, that's right. So that was, I thought that was really, really cool. Did you have another piece of advice for anybody? Or for early relationships that you thought we did that made our relationship successful?
Yes. And I know we just talked about it, but my brain has left my body, and your big, beautiful memory needs to help me out.
I have one.
Okay.
It was later in our relationship. It was probably in the first 6 months. Looking back, it would have been better if we did it earlier, but I'm so glad we did it. It was so powerful. And it was when you got that Jay Shetty book, and we were talking about our values. And we both sat there and were like, what do you mean our values? And we kind of talked about it, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And we both wrote down our values without looking at each other. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important, because I think if you do it together, it's like, oh, like I have that personality of like people pleaser, mm-hmm. or can be, moving away from that as best I can. So if I'm going into, I want to try to make you happy, what do you got? I'll just write down what you have. Yeah. Versus just going, no, let's just both do it. I'll write down my values. You write down your values. And I remember doing that. I was like, oh, this is like really cool, because it gave me an insight to who you are and what's important to you. Mm-hmm. And what I thought was even more important is like, right, now when she says, hey, do you want to go to Nelson this weekend? Family was like third on your list or second on your list. Mm-hmm. I think third or second, I can't remember. So if I was like, oh, I can't, blah, 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 it's like, that's me saying your values through my actions, not directly, but I'm saying your values aren't as important, mm-hmm. as this other thing that I want to do. So for me, that was a really big eye-opener to see what you valued, and to see how many things we had. Like health was on both of ours. Mm-hmm. Oh God, now I'm like drawing a blank. I know family was on both of ours. Oh, yeah. I think you had, I can't remember, we had adventure. That was 6 years ago. Yeah,
I had. Oh, so long. Yeah.
You had adventure. You had. I know, I can't remember them now.
I think sex was on there.
Yeah, yes, that's right. We did. We talked about sex.
We actually started talking about it at that point.
Yeah, and sex was super important for both of us. Mm-hmm. And it was just cool to like look and go, oh, right, like obviously they can't be identical. No. But if they were identical, well, that's great. But even if they're not, you can at least get a really deep insight of what's important to the other person, and understand their compass. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was super cool. Yeah.
No, that was an exercise I'm very glad we did.
Was there at any point in our relationship that, or after that, you were able to draw on that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think you had on yours your value of football or physical. I can't remember how you worded it. Mm-hmm. But knowing how that was so important to you, and that support was needed in that way, because I think that was the support you didn't have previously.
100%. Yeah, you're right.
And it wasn't even a hard thing for me to do, because I wanted to be there, mm-hmm. and continue to want to be there. But it helps knowing what's so important to someone, because it also helps you speak, like when there's time, because there's definitely times, especially during football season, where I'm like, yeah, we fucking like 5 days a week, I'm just so no long. More. But then I'm like, no, this is important. I can still express how I need to express. And for Flag, you actually took some practices off because you realized that we still needed to have time for us. But that it helps remind me, right, this is important. And when I signed on and I read your values, it's like you're with that person in that moment. Right? When you love them enough, they don't become your values necessarily, but they kind of do a little bit.
I think so. I think there's different levels of it, but you can 100% support them. But even just understanding them, so that way when the big decisions come, it stops this butting heads, because you know that, like, hey, this is the path I'm going. This is my compass. My compass is pointing this way. And if I know your compass is pointing this way, and mine's going here for, let's say, the topic of money, whatever, I know at some point we're going to have an intersection and it's going to be trouble, or there could be trouble. You can prepare for it in a very, like, real way. It's like, right, hey, we have this extra money. I know Emily really values adventure. I really value saving money. And it's funny because we're actually both aligned there. That was the funny part.
Yeah.
But let's say you're like, oh, I really want to spend money and not do this. And I was saying, hey, I want to save. I can mentally prepare for that. We both can mentally prepare for that, knowing that, yes, this is where we need to have opportunity for growth. And instead of it being an intersection where we butt heads, it's a mess, and then we go separate ways, we can go, okay, well, how can we work together on this? I understand you have this. I understand you have this. You understand I have this. How can we navigate this conversation or this topic so we both feel really good about it and don't feel like we're both, like, settling? And if we have to, is there a way that, like, if, okay, we can do this, is there a way to make it, is there a win-win? Is there a win-win for both of us where we both feel really good about it and not going, okay, fine, I'll just shut down what I want so he can have it, or vice versa. And that's typically what I did before, was like, fine, I'll just shut out my values to let this person do it. Because, again, going back to previously being a chronic people pleaser. Was there any other moments you could think of where that was really valuable?
Going over our values? I don't know, not like a specific moment off the top of my head. It just helps you know your partner better. Honestly, it helps you know yourself better.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because you actually have to sit down and put pen to paper and be like, huh.
That's actually a very good point. Honestly, that's actually probably a better point than the relationship part, because if you don't know yourself, well, then it's hard to even... It's way harder to navigate a relationship.
Well, yeah, then you're just operating out of a reaction system, and you don't always know what you're reacting to. Because you don't know what boundary or what value of yours is being squashed or being
fulfilled or being squashed. What are you feeding? What are you taking away from?
Yeah, so it's super nice to know those things about yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. There was one more point, because we're going to wrap this up, that I just thought of now, unless you have something else. And we talked about another one, but I wanted to hit home on it again. Was that, especially in the beginning, we spent very little time in front of the TV. Very little time.
Oh, yeah.
We did, for sure. We went to go to movies, but we wouldn't sit and go, hey, do you want to watch Netflix and binge for hours?
Not once.
And most of our free time together was spent doing stuff together. Doing activities together. Hiking, taking the dogs, going to the beach, working out, like, doing stuff. I think was such a critical part in our relationship that made it so successful early, because now we're building our relationship and our interactions. One, every time we have those, like, little mini interactions, it's building trust, because it's like, hey, we're working out, I need a spot, boom, you help me, oh, trust goes up. Two, I get to see how hard you're working. I'm like, wow, you're like, you're dedicated to this, boom, I have more appreciation for you. And so, you're hiking, wow, your endurance is crazy, and you're running up these things, and I'm sitting there panting and sweating and crying like a big baby and trying to get up these hills, because at the time I hardly hiked. but it made me have that we're doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
And then it made me appreciate more of like, wow, you're like really a unique person in this, and there's you know, you can talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
but when you see somebody doing it, it's adds so much more weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a really key thing that I think most people, I think everybody must do is like do activities together.
Oh,
Find ways to have fun, and find ways to have fun doing like the little things.
oh, cooking with you
I was just gonna
was
say
like,
cooking, yeah.
oh, it still is one of my favorite. Even doing dishes, it's just nicer.
That's another. I mean, shoot, there's another one. Doing the mundane things together.
Yeah.
So we did all that all the time, and I think actually I remember saying that. I remember saying to you like, "Hey, like, yeah, we can do the wine. I could do the wine and dine thing and try to whisk you off." But I've done that and it feels shitty. Or we can learn to have fun in these like mundane things and then do those things as we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a big part, at least I felt that was a huge part of like, right, we can like, dishes can be fun. We can put on music, we can dance.
Mm-hmm.
I can, you know, like we can make jokes, you can laugh, we can talk. Can we make the little mundane things really, am I saying the right, mundane?
Yeah.
Mundane things, sounds like we're saying it wrong. Mundane things really fun.
Yeah.
Because if we can make those fun and enjoyable, that means all the other stuff is just like gravy. Just
It's a great opportunity to grab your partner's bum.
yes, it is. It's a great opportunity to touch,
Mm-hmm.
talk,
Mm-hmm.
to touch your wife's butt.
Mm-hmm. Husband's butt.
Yeah,
That's a good time.
I recommend it. But really though, I don't think people do that enough. And again, doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
We did lawn stuff together. We did gardening stuff together. We did house renos together.
It doesn't mean I don't like. We haven't done it. Like you've done tons of lawn stuff without me. We don't do every moment. No,
but anytime you're like, hey, I'm gonna go do this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go join you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could sit there and play a video game if I wanted to, or I could spend time with you.
Yeah.
You know, times where I'm going, oh, hey, I'm doing this in the yard, same thing. It's like, okay, cool, I'll help.
Yeah.
So, making those little moments just special, or making the stuff, everyday stuff special, I think adds so much more, because then when you go to do the other stuff, it's like,
Well, and you also haven't built up all those weird little resentments.
yeah, that's right. Because if you're always doing dishes by yourself, and if I was always on the couch, you know, drinking a beer, that sounds funny, but you know, then you'd be like, eventually, you'd be like, ugh, this is like, why doesn't he help?
Yeah.
Right? So having that communication, being honest, and just finding small ways just to appreciate those little moments, I think is an absolute must. Because if you can do that, everything else is going to feel just way better.
Totally.
Anything you want to end on before we wrap this up?
I love you very much.
I love you too. So to recap, before we wrap up, 1, honesty. Allowing the person to change.
There's
And
an
having
element of forgiveness.
element of forgiveness, which I thought was so good. That was a good one, babe. 2, we said was not values.
Values.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was sex. It was refraining from sex. I would say for at least a month, if you can.
It was fun. It was almost like foreplay for a month.
It was.
Because we were so excited to see each other.
Oh,
The
yeah,
making
the
out
energy
was
was like-
unreal.
Yeah, we had like vortex, and time would like feel distorted. Feel
Oh, yeah.
like, yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, refraining from sex
Yep.
for sure is long, a month at least. And in that, you're learning to appreciate and notice your partner, all the little things you can. The third one being values.
Values.
Write down your values. Write it down separately, and then look at them and talk about them. And what do those mean to them? And then the third one,
That's fourth.
or sorry, the fourth one.
Yeah.
Fourth one. Fourth one being, I said little thing, actually kind of evolved to finding fun in the little things.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's really important. If you can find joy and do things together in those small little moments, it'll make, the mundane stuff, the chores, the sweeping, whatever, it's going to make us everything else so much better. So thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, y'all.
We're always here. If you want to talk, please reach out and share this with somebody you think needs to listen to this. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed. If you're in a place right now in your relationship that you feel stuck, or you feel like you can't get into any good relationship, please reach out. You can go to lifepurposely.ca. We have 30-minute clarity calls to reach out to you to see what's going on in your life and how we can help. Second, if you haven't yet, please subscribe and share it with somebody that needs to listen to this. Third, if you're interested on how to have wonderful, amazing sex, you can click the link below to Kim Anami. She's coming out with a new salon for men coming up very soon, which I'm excited to share, because the stuff that she talks about and teaches you is wildly powerful and will make a massive difference in your sex life. So men, pay attention and click the link below. Thanks again for listening, and then I'll catch you on the next episode.